when we think about our life, we see that there is one thing that doesn't allow us to fulfill our desires. And that thing, the major thing, it's space. What is it, space? Who creates the space? And how the space actually really is being created in our life? What can we do about it? Because if we are in the middle of the meeting, there is a space, because we don't know what is going to happen and when it's going to happen and how long will that take to finish that meeting and what the result of that meeting will be. So there is a space, there is a time, space and motions between the beginning and the end of that. Cells, for example. And even then, when we earn that money, there is another space. What kind of space? That we are going to invest this money or buy perhaps something. And we also have to wait to buy that particular item that is going to fulfill us. So there is another space. When we are waiting on a freeway, in a traffic jam, there is space because we want to get to our destination. And the same actually space is when we want to go for our vacation to this destination. We just can't wait to get there, and it takes 17 hours to fly over. So you see, there is a space again. When we want to go for a date or meet with the person we love so much and we have been waiting for so long, and we need to wait, let's say, certain amount of time again, there is space. So whatever you think about it, about your life, in your life, there is always space. And if we eliminate that space, which is the cause, your desire you have, and the fulfillment, if we could eliminate that space, then we will be fulfilled. So you see, the space is everywhere. The space, no matter what is the item you think about it, no matter what is the fulfillment you think about it, or desire, or thoughts, there is always a space. Let's eliminate that space and we'll have everything. And we as humankind, we are destined sooner or later to eliminate that space. I'm reading from my book, Everything is an Illusion. Since we don't transform our doubts, we create some space for them to live and accumulate. Their energy reaches then our present, and eventually, whether we want or not, we have to confront them, unless, of course, we don't want to heal. If we don't pass, or if we didn't pass in previous reincarnation, small test, small life tests, and I'm going to talk about it in more details, then there is a space created, because the space is our consciousness. We create the space only with our consciousness. So if I didn't pass in previous lifetime, or if I didn't pass a small test in my life 20 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 days ago, because it was not important for me, I created with my consciousness that space. Why? Because everything is energy, and our consciousness creates energy. So if I didn't implement appropriate energy of certainty during that test, the space had to be fulfilled with something. If I put fear, if I put stress, if I put anxiety and doubt and pain during that life test, then of course I created even more space with my consciousness. So the test has to return, and in the future it is even more difficult to pass. Why? because again I added that space. So the time line between A and B, it's even longer. The motion, it's even bigger. So the value of the space and the quality is stronger. It's more difficult to pass next time. Thus, challenges become increasingly more intensive. Moreover, they appear to be devoid of any sense the less responsible we feel for them. We point out culprits. The higher the level of the transformation of doubts, the more difficult the tasks are. The higher the level of spirituality, the stronger our certainty is. That is why challenges we deal with on a daily basis are always one step ahead of us. They must be. The next challenge that we get will always be more difficult from the previous one, as the certainty generated as a result of the first challenge won't be enough to overcome the next challenge. Because we need to increase our certainty, or if you prefer, we need to, that's our job here, to eliminate that space from our life. That's our work here. But we add each single time that space with our consciousness if we don't build certainty in our life. So each time we use certainty and we are not afraid of dealing with whatever the life is bringing us that we actually have been creating, and we deal that in a spiritual way, this means that we actually eliminating that space. So what is it, that space? The scientist says that 99.99% everything that surrounds us is empty space. And our consciousness creates that empty space. So what is it, this empty space? Is it fear? Yes. Is it doubt? Yes. Is it pain? Yes. All these things that we usually are not aware of, that is the space. And each single time, during each single test that we have hundreds of times during a day, if we don't eliminate that space, we actually add that space. And next time, the test will be even more difficult for us. What scenario do I mean? Again, we encounter a customer who is dissatisfied with the product purchased in our company. Since our customer database is quite big and amounts to 569 customers, we believe that one customer will not be able to destroy our confidence with respect to our business and its future. This is what our feelings tell us and what we are sure of. However, what we don't realize is that it is a test which we must have failed in the past or in the past lives. You see, we don't see that, but if we look at our lives, there is something else that we have to do, and there is something else that is more important for us to deal with than pay attention to small things that happening to our lives. And we don't understand that, because each time that we usually think that there is something more important we have to take care of, because this client will not shaken our certainty in our business, about whatever we are going to do and how we deal with our business. This is the place where we actually add the space, and later on the challenge, the life challenge, it's going to be even more tougher. It's going to be even more difficult to pass and to transform, to eliminate that space. So first of all, we should be aware that we create that space, with our consciousness of fear, of lack, of doubts. Because if there is a client, minor client, I really feel will not shake in my business, and I have to do something else in my life instead of paying attention to this really minor client, that is the place where I can choose I'm going to create more space or not. Because why I am choosing actually, why I have chosen something else to do, something more important to do even though. Why? You see, because I feel that this client will not shaken whatever I'm going to do right now. And that is the mistake. Because this client is not a coincidental in our life. Because I think that my consciousness is so strong, my certainty is so strong about my business that this doesn't really matter. But actually it matters because I don't want to deal with our fear. Because why I prefer to do something else? Because I don't want to lose perhaps another meeting. But why I don't want to lose another meeting? Why I don't want to miss another opportunity in life? Because I'm going to earn more money, and that's fine. But the question is why? Maybe because I need more money. Maybe because the money makes me more happy or fulfill me and give me security in life. You see, if I choose then the other way and I don't pay attention to these minor items in my life, then I do it from the place of lack, from the place of fear. I need to have it more. I need to take care about this. And it doesn't mean that I shouldn't have. What I'm saying and I'm sharing with you is we should pay attention to this test too, because otherwise we just add. If we don't pass this test, we add to this consciousness, the type of consciousness, because the consciousness is fulfilled now with what? Oh, I don't need to take care of that client, for example, or the partner, or the business. I even don't have time to think about it. This place in consciousness, which we cannot see with five senses, is fulfilled now. With what? With our ego. Because I don't need to take care of that. With what? With fear. Because I have to do something else, more important for me. So you see, it's so important, it's paramount to see what is happening in our life. And if we don't do that, instead of eliminating the space, we want to eliminate that space in our way. You see, that is the issue. We want to eliminate during our daily affairs the space with what we know, what we have experienced in our life. But that doesn't work this way. It doesn't work. Nature and the universe, and actually we create this movie, and we are responsible for that. So, what can we do? First of all, it's an opportunity. First of all, we should be aware that we create that space, time, space, motions. Second of all, we should know that we can eliminate that space, and that is amazing. And that we have the power to eliminate that. And that is also so terrific to know that. But the second and the first step, it's not enough. We need to know what kind of tools we should use, and it's always about the same, it's about consciousness. So let's talk about third step. How we can deal with that on a regular basis. For example, you may have in your life a meeting, a date, right now, a business meeting, something that you want to do right now. Perhaps you want to record a video, perhaps you want to go for a date, perhaps you are in the middle of a business meeting, perhaps you are going to do certain activity, perhaps you have been preparing for that meeting, the business meeting or business opportunity for a long time. Perhaps you meditated and you saw yourself already fulfilled. And then you must have experienced that in your life. You cannot do that. You are going to be disturbed by something, by another person, perhaps by external factors. Perhaps suddenly there is so many people you thought they were not going to be there. Perhaps you enter a restaurant and you felt in the past baffled and perplexed, and you didn't know what to say and confused? Perhaps, there was a noise that disturbed your speech or your presentation, huge noise. And then you just got lost. Why? Because there was a doubt. And what is that doubt? Space. Space. So this space, this doubt, is connected with something. What is it? With the pain you don't transform in your life. With the pain, with the chaos, you don't transform in your life on a regular basis. So first of all, be aware that whatever you are going to do, that's the first step in your exercise, in your spiritual exercise. You can see and you can experience is that you are going to do something, or you are in the middle of doing something, and then you forget, or you forgot, or you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Why is that? Because in your life, in our lives, there are activities that repeat, and no matter what we do, it just doesn't work. Perhaps in your business, you have tried to open so many times businesses, and after a couple of months, a couple of years, or few years, it didn't work out as supposed to work out. And you ask yourself this question, why it doesn't work? Why other people are successful? They have this success I don't have. Why? Or maybe in a relationship, you have tried so many times, so many partners, and you have been through so many relationships, and you thought this time is going to work, and it didn't work out again. So you ask yourself these questions, why? You see, because the same doubt, I would say the same space you have or you had during that meeting, that presentation, or perhaps this date, it's the same doubt, the same in that pain, in that circumstances, in that business that doesn't work for you, or relationship. It's the same, it's connected directly. And the universe, or if you prefer, your subconsciousness, it's giving you now an opportunity in life to transform that space. It's giving you opportunity to take care of that. So next time when you are going to speak, so next time when you are going to shoot a video, next time when you are going for a date or a business meeting, or you are going to give a speech, you are not going to be under this huge pressure, I would say, of these external factors. No matter what is going to happen, no matter what will happen, you will have this under control. But you don't have it right now. Why not? Because you see, again, you don't want to change. We don't want to change when we deal with this huge activity, or this business activity, or this relationship. We just don't pay attention. We don't want to change there. We just want to, we improvise. We just don't want to change. We want to be as we are right now. So what can we do? There is only one way, I would say, in inverted comma, one way, but I'm pertaining to space. Because if we eliminate that space from the business, if we eliminate that space from the relationship, if we eliminate that space from our families, from our health, whatever that is for you, then you will have everything. So every day you have a chance to observe that. Every single day you have tens of thousands, I would say, opportunities to eliminate that space. So how can we eliminate that space? The person is coming to you, in your business, and you cannot just basically tell what you really feel. You cannot. You play around, you mess around. You don't want to be straight with that person. For some reason, there is something that doesn't allow you to be yourself. It doesn't allow you to overcome your ego, that fear you have, because you are afraid of being judged. So you, on a regular basis, you have this opportunity to transform that, but you prefer to do something else. Instead of that, you don't talk. You are not honest. You are not honest with that partner. You are not honest with yourself. You just play as the game, with the game rules. But you are not playing with your soul. So there is something you are afraid of to share, because you are being perceived, for example, as a manager, as a responsible person who knows everything. And you are being asked about something pertaining to the project you are actually the leader of. Can you say that you don't know the answer? Can you say that you don't understand that? Can you say that you didn't work out, or you didn't have time to prepare yourself? Can you say that? It's easy to say if there is so many people, they rely on you. It's difficult to admit that. But you see, that is the test. You see, that is the test that we can transform now the consciousness, the space. So perhaps there is something you feel towards someone, but when you are going to talk to that person, suddenly the person is here in your life, suddenly enters in the morning, or somebody texts you. Are you going to respond with the soul answer? Are you going to respond and say that you should say? Because the day before, you talked to yourself and you said, yes, I am going to deal with this. Yes, I am going to talk to that person about what is important for me. And you know, on the following day, you will meet that person. You will. And then, are you going to talk in the same way or in a different way? You see, usually, we are going to talk with that person in a different way. In a different way. We are going to share or to have this conversation in a totally different way. We plan to do it. We wanted to do it. As if we don't have this free will. And that is the point. You have the power to eliminate that space. You have the power now, with respect to that person, to be yourself, to talk about something else, to talk about what is important for you, to talk what is important perhaps to deal with your fears. And if you deal with your fears, if you deal with this doubt, because you don't want to show that you don't understand something, or you don't know how it works something, or you have no idea about something, that's very small steps. Then, if you don't take advantage of that, then you will always have problems when you are going for a meeting. You will always have problems. Always you will have problems during the date. You will always have problems that you were going to do something, but it didn't work out. That there was this external factor during your speech that built sudden doubt, and you forget what you were going to say. Why? Because you didn't work. You didn't take the responsibility before that, when you met that person. When you were dealing with someone, because you didn't want to face this opportunity, because you created space. And perhaps I'm going to talk more about in a different video presentation about that space. But if you want to know more, watch my spiritual walk with Michael Keter, that you could tune to on Instagram, on Modern Restrictionalistic Center, and find out more how you can transform and eliminate that space from your life. Take care of yourself.